Greetings all. So I've made some more adjustments. Hopefully this looks a little bit better. I'm using a webcam at this point. It's been kind of a mess trying to figure out what I want to do. But anyway, besides that point, the reason I'm making the video today is for something that is really rubbed me the wrong way. It was an issue that I had when I picked up a game. Target had a really good deal for a whole variety of different video games. They were $5 a piece, so I couldn't really go wrong at that point. At least I thought I couldn't. One of the ones I picked up was Ducktales Remastered for the PS3. What I didn't see was there it says digital copy. So a little bummed out by that. I didn't notice that until much later. And at that point, I had already changed credit cards because mine had expired. I got rid of the receipt, probably because it was like 2 or 3 months later down the line. It was just one of those things. I bought a massive amount of games, so it was just one of those things. I grabbed it because I was like, okay, grab this, and so forth. Couldn't really go wrong with it, and then I noticed this. So I was like, all right, well, I wanted to collect. I collect video games, as you know. So I was like, all right, I'll keep one, I guess, and get rid of the rest. I really wanted the physical copy. But I do like the collector's pin that it comes with. So I was like, all right, I'll resell. I bought 4 total. I'll resell 3 of them, keep one, I guess, sealed, or maybe open one, keep one sealed. I don't know how I'm still going to do it. But what had happened was I sold it online, I gave it to somebody, and they told me that the code didn't work. Now, with something like this, I didn't really think too much of it. This happens, I've seen this before, where it's kind of like a, DLC almost, or not a DLC, but one of those digital HD copies that you would get for like a movie expires within a certain period of time. Some of those still work actually, so if you get one of those, even if it says it expires by a certain date, Sony is a good example of that. One of the ones I used was Ides of March and Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, I think it was, the one with Katie Holmes. Those both worked for the digital HD copies, so it wasn't really that big of a deal, but I know some of them have expired, so I was like, oh man, that kind of sucks. So I contacted Sony because technically you bought this brand new, you should still at least get a working code. So I told the person, like, and the error that they gave me is what made me not sit there and go, oh, I'm being scammed or something, because it was saying something about this may no longer be valid is the error they got. And there's a possibility they could have scammed me, but I really don't think they did. So I contacted Sony about this. Sony looked into it, and they told me they can't do anything. Capcom's got to help you out with this. Alright, a little annoyed about that, but whatever. So I contacted Capcom about it. And I would say I've been dealing with them, more of a battle, for over a month. Their answer to it is, we can't do anything. It is a physical copy. Physical copy, and you should take it back to the retailer. Well, I explained to them, like, I bought this a while ago, and I don't have the card. They can't do a return. What can you do to help me with this? Well, we can't do anything. That was pretty much their answer to everything. They can't do anything. And I'm like, well, this doesn't make any sense, because they kept going back to their warranty implies that they do 90 days, and it's on a physical item. And I'm like, well, this is digital. This isn't physical. And they're like, well, it is digital, because essentially they're trying to get at, it's because it comes on a card, it's physical. And their other thing, and this is verbatim, they don't have any more in stock. This is a code. You can regenerate a code. So for $5, they are sitting there and pretty much saying, nope, can't do it. Can't do it at all. So I'm extremely pissed about that. granted, it's only $5. I don't really care about the money too much in a sense. It's more the fact that this seems to be a thing that happens with companies now. They do as little as possible, and to push you off and hope that you don't contact them again. But meanwhile, don't say anything and just keep buying their crap. It is. I love Capcom. I shouldn't say I love Capcom. I love the games that they make. I love Resident Evil. I love Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 4 was okay. But this really, really gets under my skin. That you're going to do this to somebody where all I can sit there and think about now is, hey, you know, if I'm going to buy a game and there's a game that's coming out that's really awesome and I really want to play it, I'll get other means to get it at that point. I will not buy it brand new. What will you do in this case? And this is why I'm kind of creating this video, because then it's maybe something you guys can do. This way you still get what you want, but you're not giving in to the company. Buy it used, trade for it maybe, like on a video game trading forum type of site. Borrow it if that's the case. Whatever it takes at that point, because this is just the beginning. I made a video about the DLC thing before, but this is why I don't want to buy digital stuff. Because of this reason. There are games that no longer exist because of copyright infringement and so forth. Well, you know what? If you were free to make as many backups of it as you wanted and there was no limitation on what you could do with it, then yeah, maybe digital would be a great alternative because, hey, you know what? You're always going to have it. It doesn't take up that much space, and you're able to, in case something happens with your system, you're able to go to another system and play it from there. But the issue is, you have an issue with your PS3. One of the games you bought, let's say, or PS4, let's say, PT, that no longer is available for download. If you downloaded it and have it on your system, you have it, but it's only on your hard drive. You can't copy it off of there, at least not by legal ways, not by what Sony has intended. But if your system fails, which it will, and it probably won't take that long in the grand scheme of things. It's not like a car where it lasts 20-something years, and if you do, you have a real fine there. You're stuck. You are stuck, and then you have to rebuy it again. And it gets really annoying. And then it's like, okay, well, at that point, it's like, all right, well, at least it's still... If it's still available, you can still download it. Some of the things aren't available for download. You can't play on the system anymore. When Sony was saying about, oh, you know, some of the I think it was the PS3 titles aren't backwards compatible with the PS4, and it's a digital download. Okay, well, what's your answer to that? Well, we don't really have one. And then when they did have an answer, it was to make it where you can buy it again. Buy it again? Wait, I just purchased it digitally. So essentially, you're just saying, give us your money. You get a short period of time with it, and then you got to buy it again. This isn't a renewal subscription. This is a game. Like, this is a physical item. That's why they can't do it with the cartridges and stuff. And it's like, well, they want to go to digital because, yeah, they don't have that many titles and everything, and it's frustrating because it's like, okay, well, we can't make that much money from this, we can't make that much money from that. I got it. We'll re-release the content that we have on it, and we'll resell it to you. And people will buy it because they want to play the old games, but they don't want to bring their system back out into the living room or wherever it is, or maybe they don't have it, so they don't want to spend the $80-something for it at that point. They don't want to do that. But essentially, now they have you with this. I honestly believe this shit should be fucking pulled from the store. You can't sell it. If you knew the code was going to expire, then you can't sell this stuff. There should be... I worked at a retail store. What did companies do when they had something that was no longer valid? Quicken, for example. Perfect example. You pulled the titles from the shelf and you destroyed them. You broke them in half. You did whatever at that point. Some companies wanted the actual equipment back, so you sent it back to them and they took care of shipping or whatever they did with that. But they pulled it. This should not be available for sale. If you purchased it within a certain date, you have an obligation to the person to honor it. I shouldn't buy this, and it should say somewhere on here that the code is no longer available. So anyway, those are my gripes with it. This is why the gaming industry is shit in some cases, because you have stuff like this, where, are you kidding me? I'm definitely not going to buy another digital thing. Are you fucking serious? No way. No way. I mean, there were some things I really wanted, and it was like, Vita is another example of this. At least that one was a little bit more apparent. With when you have the game, there were some of them where it was like Terraria and MLB, I think 14, or not Terraria, Minecraft. Minecraft was the one for the Vita, and MLB I think 14, maybe 13, or 15 maybe, where it was just a voucher. Just a voucher. They also did this with GameStop. Did it with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for the PS3. Now that one I think is a little bit different because it was an incentive to pre-order it, which I think is BS beyond itself for a digital code. Oh, you're going to run out of a digital code? But it was incentive to get that, and it was kind of a collector's piece. That was really what it was for. I mean, it came factory sealed, and it had the code in it. But it was more just, hey, you know, here is this for the PS3, and I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that it was one of those where they let you know up front. And I mean, if they didn't, you could ask questions at that point. It was one of those things where if you open it up in the store and you're like, wait a minute, this isn't what I was looking for. This was supposed to be this. They could do something there. Here, I'm at the mercy of Sony or Capcom or where I got it from at Target. But honestly, I don't expect Target to help me out at that point. I mean, I spent that amount of money however long ago. But the thing is, I don't have the receipt. I don't have the credit card anymore. So to them, I'm some random guy. Oh, I spent so much money here, and I had a credit card that I don't have anymore, so help me out. And I mean, essentially they could. But now it's almost kind of like a reminder just never to do this again. And it's so frustrating because I really wanted the HD, the actual physical copy. That's why I was so excited about this. I was like, okay, I can get a few of these, and that'll make the one I'm getting free. And I get to keep a sealed copy at that point, but no. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to let you guys know. I'll be doing one. There is another one about a power adapter. So I'll be doing that shortly. But thank you guys, and I will talk to you again soon.